Oh, I'm a bit cozy. So today's video is going to be how I learned to love being single. I've gotten a lot of messages. Obviously during the pandemic, a lot of my videos were relating to my heartbreak and like breaking up and shit. Now the tables have turned. It's more of a happy video now. Yay! I went to film this today and I was actually bawling my eyes out like an hour ago. I think it's anytime I have to film a YouTube video, my brain is just like, oh, you have to be happy for 10 minutes? I don't think so. It's like revving up the emotions. I'm also due my period, so it could be that either. I actually wrote down some stuff. I was winging it for most of the time now, getting over this and like dealing with my emotions, because I literally cry if the wind changes direction. So it was a bit hard at the start, but I think I've got it down and being a bit more stable. So let me share this information with you. If you watched my last video, I did say, I share so much information on this. Anyway, I did say I was seeing someone. I'm such an oversharer, sorry. It's just not anymore, okay? Long story, but I'm not gonna get into it. I thought to myself, because I was numb before this, totally not emotionally available at all, I would look at people and literally want to get sick in my mouth. And I did have sex with someone like a few weeks after. This is probably against, am I gonna get cancelled for this? Ah, fuck it. People are in Ibiza, I'm allowed. And my dad's also in the next room, lol. Anyway, did have sex with someone it's taken me a long time. Spit it out, Keelin, just text me. Sorry. So, a few weeks after my breakup, did have sex with someone, not a few weeks, like a month or something after. Anyway, then I cried the next day for like 6 hours. So I was like, okay, maybe that was a bit soon. You shouldn't have done that. But that was just my heart telling me I wasn't ready, so that's fine. Anyway, then I needed to figure it out more. Time went on. And then I started seeing someone and I was like, oh my god, I'm not numb anymore. This is fucking fantastic. And then after that ended, didn't work out. I got a bit overwhelmed, freaked out. I was like, oh, I can't be tied down, and just like went skits. Anyway, so I felt like I was back at the start again, writing heartbreak poems and like crying and all. But it was actually just because I was in Galway the week before and saw him for the first time. I hadn't seen him obviously since we broke up, sort of before lockdown. So it was my body being like, nah, freaking out. And then I got the sad then for a week after that. But I'm over it now, so that's why I think I'm finally emotionally ready to make this video. And I know everyone's been waiting for it. Everyone's been requesting this. No, but I have been getting messages being like, you seem so happy. And when I was reading them, I was like, guys, are you blind? Have you seen my poems? Anyway, no, I actually am though. So this is how you love being single. And when I used to watch these videos when I was in a relationship, don't get me wrong, love a relationship myself. Absolutely love it. My heart's so full of love. I love giving people love. Is that grammatically correct? Regular sex, obviously. What else is good about it? Cuddles, love a cuddle. Holding hands, I love holding hands. Don't get me wrong, I love all of these things. You know, doing stuff together, having private jokes and that sort of thing. What was I saying? So, totally being honest, I don't want to start out this video being like, fuck everyone, you'll be fantastic on your own. If the time comes, I'll be ready for a relationship when I meet the right person, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not like, oh, I'm not ready for a relationship. Obviously, the last person I was seeing, it just didn't work out because I genuinely am obviously still healing. Like, shut up, Keelin, get over it. It takes me a long time to get over things because my heart is very fragile. What I was saying is, at the moment, I am very content with just being with myself. And here is how I got to this stage. Number one, the first thing I had to get over with is finding out if you actually like yourself. Now, this is probably the hardest one and the most important, because usually if you're with someone, especially as a woman, you're taking that approval and appreciation as like a value of your worth. This is for a heteronormative relationship, by the way, this example. If a man like approves of you, it's just conditioned that way in the patriarchal society. That's just the way we're conditioned. It's not like, I'm like trying not to think that way, but it's kind of hard when we're brought up to think that. You are happy and you're on the right track if you get married, have kids and all this shit. So being in a relationship is another form of like success in life. Why am I doing this? Is another form of like success in life. So that's why it can be hard when you go through a breakup and you're single for a period of time to figure out if you like yourself. And as well, I have not been single for longer than 3 months since I was probably about 15. I have been seeing people, but at this very moment in time, it's always either a feast or a famine with me. At the moment, I literally look at someone and I'm like, ugh, I'm not sexually attracted to anyone at the moment. I literally, if a guy tried to flirt with me, I'd be like, ah, or a girl. Yeah, me at the moment, I'm very, very single. So I'm taking this small snippet of opportunity to make this video because I can say this all I want, being like, oh, I probably won't get in a relationship for a while, but knowing me, knowing my previous history, usually when I say that, someone comes into my life and all of a sudden I'm in love again. I don't know if I fall in love very easily. I probably don't. It takes a certain person, obviously, but I just get into relationships very easily. So to find out if you like yourself, this is really hard. This was hard for me as well, because on the internet, obviously, if you're receiving hate and putting your personality on, you know, for people to judge and stuff, it can be kind of difficult to know whether you like yourself or not. And obviously I have enough confidence to speak to a camera for a period of time and then put it not publish it on the internet for thousands of people to see if they want to. I have gotten to the stage now where I do like myself. So I'm a very logical brain. I make lists for myself. So make a list of all the characteristics you have. Of course, you have to do some shadow work and find out what you don't like about yourself that you can't change. There's loads of things that I can't change. Sometimes I'm very loud in social situations. I can be a bit obnoxious. Sometimes. I'm trying not to be. But I know I'm not arrogant or anything because I do have an inferiority complex sometimes. And I know I'm very kind to people, very generous. I give a lot of love to my friends. But sometimes I do have some dark humour that can be twisted and taken the wrong way. I know that, but I've learned to apologise for it and tone it down a bit. But my friends get it too because we all have dark humour. My whole family, the basis of our humour is literally taking the piss out of each other. So sometimes that can be taken the wrong way. Anyway, trying my best not to do that to people that I don't know. Most of my followers don't know that that's my sense of humour. And all the relationships I've been in, we just like, I want to be with someone who can take the piss out of me. Like rip me to shreds. Roast me challenge, do it right now. Have sex with me and roast me now. It's like, that's my turn on. Roast me quick. No. If there's stuff you can't change, accept it. It's grand. Everyone has flaws. There's no person that's like completely perfect. Otherwise you just go mute. And people don't even like people who are mute sometimes as well because they're seen as boring or stuck up. So just be yourself. Find out what you don't like about yourself and then just accept it. It's grand. No one's perfect. Find out if you like yourself as well before you search for external validation. I think it's conditioned in women as well that like men are turned off by powerful, confident women. That's a lie. That's fake news. Be your fucking self. Own it, bitch. You are sexy. And then number 2, learn to be single. Buy yourself a sex toy, whatever you're into. Dildo, vibrator, I don't know. Research your sexuality. I'm not going to make the decisions for you. Personally, more of a vibrator girl. I just way prefer sex when you're in a relationship. You know what each other like, and there's sorry to get distracted, but there is candle wax on my lens. It looks like cum as well. If you need to figure out, because sexually frustrated queens, ain't it? You know, there's pent up anger there. You turn into a Karen. That's what I always imagine a Karen to be, is like sexually frustrated housewives, and then they just take it out on everyone else. That's my own theory. Someone please write a thesis on it. That's the product of a Karen. So buy yourself a vibrator if you're not up for any casual sex, because I'm not into the one night stands myself. I have had sex with 3 people. It was just spur of the moment, like, oh my god, young, wild and free, I'm single, but like I'm actually not into it. And I know I seem that kind of way, like, oh, free spirited, like everyone make love to each other. I am like that, buzz. Anyway, talking shite. What was I saying? So casual sex ain't it for me. Until I find someone that I can have regular sex with, I'm just, you know, self-pleasure is the way forward. It's like my self-care routine. Face mask, ooh. So moving on from the vibrator thing, it is kind of like self-care. And what I did, although it's kind of superficial and shallow to say this, I believe it is kind of, there's so much pressure, especially on girls, to have this like breakup glow up. You look better on the exterior. People will believe that you're happy and okay. Bleh. Which is like kind of true, because there is a thing, like pretty privilege actually does exist. But anyway, you start to feel better about yourself if you look better on the outside. So what I did, obviously, got the stenos done, got my lips done, got actually like nice makeup for myself, nice clothes. But I'm like back to being normal now, like normal bitch. I don't really wear makeup that much, but I still feel beautiful all the time because I just like the way I look at the moment. Is that really cocky to say? No, fuck it. No, I'm allowed to like myself. Anyway, so yeah, if you're up for it, I do recommend a little glow up. Like, do what you want. I've always wanted long hair and I was sick of fucking waiting around for it to grow. So I got it for myself and they did make me feel a lot better. I know I feel bad because like you have to spend money and stuff. I don't really shave my legs or my armpits. Don't really have that much hair though, but I just feel more empowered if I'm like hairier, because it's like, oh, I don't. But I am into long hair, but also dressing like a boy. I'm dressed up as Paul Banks. I'm dressed up as my sister's boyfriend today. Next thing on the list is find your tribe. So I obviously moved in with my friends. That was probably the biggest cure ever. Ashley, my best mate, brought me back to life 100%. And I know it can be hard in quarantine, or if you don't want to pay rent and all that stuff, it can be really hard. But even a phone call, like I was calling Ashley during my breakup, like crying on the phone to her. She was like, I've actually never heard you cry before. And now I cry all the time in front of her. It's fantastic. I way prefer being emotional than numb. You feel so much better. A cry cures everything. Because I feel like when you're not crying and you feel kind of numb, you're carrying around this dull sense of heartache like constantly, even though you feel like you're happy, but there's still like this dull purgatory sense of I'm kind of sad but I don't know why. But then after the cry, you're like, I actually know what I'm thinking now. Does acid once, literally me. Does acid once, and it's like, oh, I'm so in tune with my emotions now. Anyway, yeah, so to find your tribe and to definitely find non-drinking friends, because I kind of slipped into the going out for set, like drinking like every 2 days. Like I would be like drinking hungover, and that is really bad for your mental health, because alcohol obviously is a depressant, and if you're doing substances along with that, it's a recipe for disaster. Like I needed to get it out of my system though as well, because I was kind of rebelling because I didn't really drink that much last year. So I was like, oh, I need to get this out of my system. And then also plan mate dates. They're so underappreciated, because I never did that when I was in a relationship. I would just like go on dates every single day, obviously with my ex. But we were actually really good for going out on dates as well. So I kind of like need that. I like doing stuff all the time. If you're in a relationship, it's nice to have someone to do nothing with. I think that's like the best part of having a relationship where you just like sit in silence together and like watch absolute shite. So if you want to avoid that, for me, I needed a distraction all the time, so I wasn't like left alone with my thoughts, being like, oh, I'm actually sitting in silence on my own and really lonely. So I'd make up distractions for myself. But because I was living with my housemates as well, me and Aisling fucking would just do everything together. So we'd sit in silence and watch trash television, and it was fucking phenomenal. It was fantastic. So I'd find your non-drinking friends and find a friend where you can sit down and do absolutely nothing with, rather than only having friends that you need to drink with all the time. Next one is to fill up your time as well, is to find a new hobby. I feel like when I start liking someone, I kind of compromise myself or tone myself down, because I could be a very intense person, especially if you don't really know me. Now as well, I've never actually done this before in my previous relationships, but in the past few months, if I've like started texting someone or started talking to someone, I just fully myself, like, but actually by 10, like I make incest jokes and stuff, like really weird shit that can be taken the wrong way, because it's kind of like testing the waters. It's like, if I'm gonna be this weird now, you'll be grand with it in the future, because otherwise, you know, you're just dragging it out, and then eventually they're gonna see how weird you are and be like, oh, she's actually a freak, I don't like her anymore. So I prefer to just lay it out all on the table and be like, oh, I'm kind of intense. So if you're gonna start seeing me, you're kind of seeing my whole family as well, like Ellie and Saoirse and their fellas are like as weird as us, so it works out like a really good team, really good dynamic. So if I was to bring someone into that, our little squad, they'd really have to get it. Really quick humor, wittiness, it would need to be quick, fast. So if that intimidated them or scared them, it's a no-go. It's not worth it. It ruins the vibe train. If I was bringing in someone who would ruin that, like, we don't want it. I'm not compromising for anyone. As I was saying, new hobby. So I'd be like real embarrassed of like me doing YouTube, because it is kind of a thing that like, it is kind of slightly self-indulgent and self-obsessive, and it's not necessarily cool, if you know what I mean. I don't really give a fuck what anyone thinks about me. I don't want to like create this image, like this is what I do and I actually enjoy it. So if I was going to be seeing someone, I'd want someone to be really non-judgmental. I am obviously a multifaceted human, so that's why I don't really want to compromise myself at all, because if I enjoy doing this and I enjoy everything about my life and I'm really content with everything in my life at the moment, if there was going to be someone I was going to bring into my life, I'd want them to accept all of that and not for me to tone myself down. Since being single, I've started writing poetry, obviously, and put it on my Instagram, which is something I've never done before. That at the start, obviously, because it's really exposing yourself and it's a really vulnerable thing to do. So I think if you're going to start a hobby, now is the perfect time to do it. I think most people tend to compromise themselves a little bit or tone themselves down, so they seem like they have more of a likability factor, or they try to mold themselves into the person that they liked so they can be liked more. I think that's a common thing to do, or maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just fucked in the head and do that. Hobbies that I started was obviously poetry and making those poetry videos. They're like my most favorite thing to do ever. Like, I really enjoyed doing them. And I also like tried to start DJing. Don't get me wrong, so bad, so bad, but I think it's really fun. Like, I actually like the music, because still have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just like, match BPM, filter on, next track. Like, that's literally what I do. Or I just like put it on a loop, and then it's on a loop for like literally 2 minutes. I'm still trying to figure out how to beat match it. I just need a bit more practice, girls. It's fine. But I DJ'd at a few things, actually. My friend, thank God, my friends, so understanding and so nice. Like, everyone's like, no, you're really good. So bad, but it's fun. I just think it's fun anyway. But that is something that I would be embarrassed about if I was like DJing in front of a guy I liked and I was like fucking it up, especially if he was a DJ. So I think if you're single, and it's a great opportunity for you to take up stuff that you like but might be embarrassed about if you like someone. Which brings me on to my next point, which is to put yourself first and stop compromising for anyone. I didn't realize this either, and up until the last few months, I've found myself a lot, girls. So I didn't actually know I was even like this, but I do really value self-awareness, and sometimes I can slip up in that and actually not be that self-aware, even though I think I am. I think most people think that they're really self-aware, but you need one of your really close friends or family members to like tell you, well, actually, this is what you're really like. Because I like to think of myself in a different light to what I actually am. I like to think of myself as like really strong and can say no to people and stuff, when actually sometimes I let people walk all over me, which I didn't think I did up until recently, where I actually like had to give out to someone for taking advantage of me, which I was really proud of myself for doing, even though I don't like getting in fights and I don't actually like confrontation, even though I am involved in a lot of drama on the internet. But that's just because I just say stupid shit. That's not me actually, like, and then I eventually just don't end up sticking up for myself. I'm just like, oh, I'll lose some followers and I don't care. What am I talking about? Self-awareness. Anyway, but yeah, it's to put yourself first, because especially in a relationship relationship, you're thinking about other people's feelings a lot. When I was seeing the last person, I was getting real overwhelmed because I was like, I can't hurt this person's feelings, and I don't think I'm actually capable of doing that because I'm just too chaotic at the moment. You know, I'm just doing real dumb stuff. I'm better off just not seeing anyone. Put yourself first, but obviously look after your friends and family. I found that I was, because I have such a big heart, because when I'm in relationships, I like write love letters and poetry. Obviously I write poems, so yeah, I do have a big heart. Anyway, I like feel insecure about giving myself compliments, but have such a big heart that I have loads of love to give, that I started like sending my friends like messages that I'd send my romantic partner if I was with them. You know, like, oh, I hope you have a great day, miss you so much, you deserve the world, and I think you're the best ever. So I just started doing that to my friends instead, and then like it feels really nice to be nice to people too. Then the next point is, and the last one, this probably only relate to like people who are bisexual or whatever, but I feel like sexuality is a spectrum. Probably most people are anyway, and I feel like most of my people who watch my videos would be bisexual. Am I right? The next one is to explore your sexuality and use protection. Yeah, I did have sex with a girl. It was, yeah, high five. Yay! I need to channel my inner lesbian because I do give off major lesbian vibes, and I was letting myself down in the bisexual community. I was really only cock crunching for a while there, and I thought, you know what, Keelin, come on. It's really ambiguous whether if a girl is bi or not. I'm real bad. My gaydar is totally off. I have no idea what I'm doing. Use protection. Thanks to biodegradable vegan condoms in Boots if you're looking. If you are into one night stands, fucking do it. Get tested regularly. Use protection. I hope this was a helpful video and you enjoyed it. That's it now, guys. Have a fantastic, amazing, brilliant day, and I love every one of you. I would take a bullet for every single one of you. Don't forget to like this video. I never say this at the end of my videos. If you like this video, it helps other people see it because it's good for the algorithm or something. But like, if you don't want to, I don't care either. Anyway, this is actually probably my favorite video. I'm having a great time. I was literally crying about an hour ago. I can't make my mind up. Happy autumn as well. Hot girl, soft girl autumn. Bye.